Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Which is the Moon. I'm your Monday hostess, Natalie, and welcome back to week 2 of season 10. This week we are talking about mirror and candle scrying. Now, this is a topic I dearly, dearly love. I make mirrors for scrying. My mirrors are not your traditional mirror, which is made with a concave kind of or a convex surface. A lot of times I've seen people use old clock faces and they'll, you know, spray paint it black and they'll use that. But I found that that's not absolutely necessary. Technically, you can scry on just about any reflective surface in terms of mirror scrying. So dark computer screens, things like that can be used as well and can be just as effective as anything else. However, I want to focus on the type of mirrors that I make. So pardon me whilst I step away for just a moment because I do want to show you guys something. I have a video on my personal channel on how to make a mirror for scrying, but when I do it, I use just a plain 8x10 mirror, and I will put designs in there. I have a certain way that I can put designs to the front of the mirror, but you can do it with something as simple as this by just painting this black on one side. And it's not difficult to scry in a mirror in a darkened glass, sometimes called glass scrying also. It is different from crystal scrying. With crystal scrying, you are focused on the crystal, and usually it's a clear crystal, so it's something of that nature. Sometimes people use candles when mirror scrying. Traditional mirror scrying, you would have your mirror there and then you would have a candle set in front of it and you're focusing on the flame within the reflection of the candle. Within the reflection of the mirror, you're kind of focusing on that flickering center piece. You do the same thing when you are candle scrying. When you're candle scrying, you just focus within the flame of the candle itself. I usually focus to the base where the wick is, and both types of scrying, all scrying is a super deep form of meditation where you're opening your mind to visions from the spirit realm. Okay, you're hoping to seek information based on things like that. Now, you can scry with a particular question in mind and try to seek guidance that way, or you could just say, hey, what do I need to know, or what is out there to know? So when I am mirror scrying, now here's the catch to mirror scrying. If you're using a mirror, your mirror should not ever see the light of day, okay? It loses its consecration and its power when it is exposed. Now, I always consecrate all of my mirrors. Actually, what I do is I include the herbs in the instructions for consecration. I like the person who's receiving it to consecrate it themselves, because once it's consecrated to you, right? At least that's my opinion. So you're consecrating it yourself. It's consecrated to you. It becomes a part of your magical tools. Okay, and it is thereby infused with your energy. So what I like to do is I will create the mirror and I will clean it and I'll send it, and then I will tell the person you need to cleanse this and then consecrate it, and here's the instructions and the materials for doing that. So once it is consecrated for use, it is something that you want to use in a dark room because it's dark, right? So you want the darkness there to kind of allow the mind to focus on where it is. It's blocking out everything else that's around you. So some people will set a candle in front of the mirror and they will focus on the flame of the candle within the mirror itself and allow the visions to come to them. Sometimes I do that. I personally find that a very useful way because I need some place to focus my eyes. But it's not necessary, okay? You can just have the candles to the side and you can just focus in between. I have seen it done that way, and I have done it that way before too, where I have maybe 2 little votive candles on either side and I'm kind of focused on the space that's in between, or on, on the mirror itself. I'll focus on an image within the mirror and I will allow that to open up. Don't be surprised if you don't get anything the first couple of times you try this, because as with any form of scrying, you need to be able to kind of clear your mind and allow the thoughts to kind of come and go as they are, and then you will start to see the visions that are within there. Same thing with the candle scrying. When I'm candle scrying, now candle scrying for me is different. I don't need to do it at night or in the dark. I can candle scry during the day, and it's not as important that it doesn't touch, because with a consecrated mirror being a darkened glass, it's supposed to stay within the dark. So you're supposed to keep the mirror covered with a piece of dark cloth throughout the day, and it's not supposed to see the daylight, or it loses its power in terms of its ability to connect within the spirit realm. Candles, however, are different, because you're making a connection to the spirit realm, but not in the same way. And so by doing that, you're actually just seeking visions and seeking inner knowledge and truth. So you put the candle there and it gives you a focal point. You're focused on that spot within the candle that allows your mind to reach into the astral realm. So the way I look at it is this, and this is my interpretation. Other people may have a different interpretation. So please do not take what I say as gospel truth, okay? Everybody has their own interpretation, but the truth that has been revealed to me is that the mirror is a way of connecting through the spirit realm, because you have the snake skin that's attached, and it's opening a portal to the spirit realm that's within the darkened world. So not darkness as an evil or bad, or nothing like that. It's just that it is easier for spirits to be seen within the dark, and it's easier for that to allow our minds to focus in that way. And so it's a very different form of scrying, and it's when you are trying to connect with an outside spirit, is the way I look at that. So when you're seeking information from ancestors, spirit guides, and that kind of thing, you would use the mirror. Whereas with candle scrying, it's more an introspection. So when I am candle scrying, I am seeking knowledge or truth that is within myself, something that would be revealed to me as a personal truth. And so I don't necessarily rely on outside spirits. I want to know directly between me and my guide and my spirit within myself what is needing to be seen. And so for me, it's two very different types of scrying. So the candle scrying can be done throughout the day. And here's the thing, when I am focused on that flame, I have noticed that everything around it seems to just dissipate, but it goes into a whiteness and not so much of a darkness. And so to me, it's just a very different way of achieving a similar goal. Okay. It's not difficult to do this type of scrying, but it does take a certain level of concentration that you may find difficult to achieve. So the mannerism of doing the scrying is not hard. The achievement of reaching the level of consciousness needed, and that shift of consciousness needed to make it effective, may be difficult to achieve. I hope that makes sense. What I have found myself is that when I am doing mirror scrying, I tend to do it more at night, of course, like I said, because it needs to be within a darkened room. And it's more when I'm trying to reach an outside spirit. So I may actually use something like a flying ointment. I make my own flying ointments, and I may use something of that nature to help me to achieve that. I will also make sure that I do not give myself too much in anything that might be sedative. I tend to use more stimulants. So I may have a cup of coffee or a cup of tea made with certain herbs that are known to help with divination before I do something like that. So something like mugwort. I may burn some mugwort incense, or I may drink a tea with chamomile and angelica root or something of that nature that may help me to achieve that. Mint, I find, helps me quite a bit. But I try to avoid the chamomile because, again, it's more sedative in nature, and I don't want something that's sedative, so I go for something that's more of a stimulant. I think hibiscus sometimes helps too, but that's me personally. Don't take what I say as gospel truth. Each of these things are just simply tools that are there to help you, and this is how I use those tools in my personal practice. So again, candle and mirror scrying, sometimes they're used together. Sometimes you're using the mirror to reflect the candle that you're scrying into. Candle scrying I use during the daytime. I use it at night. I may use it in a darkened room if I feel that that's going to help me if I'm having a hard time focusing my mind, but it's more for an introspection for me. So I can use that type of divination anytime during the day, simply because of the way that a darkened mirror or a black glass mirror is used. It is meant to be used in the dark so that you can focus better and contact outside spirits. So I use that more that way, and I will use it at night. Like I said, sometimes I may put the candle right in the middle. Sometimes I find that distracting, so I may have candles to the side where there's just enough of a glow to provide a little bit of a reflection and a focal point within the glass to allow me to focus my mind so that it opens to the spirit realm, and I can allow that to come on in and tell me what I need to know. I hope that you guys have found this video helpful. I realize it's kind of a little rambly, and I apologize for that. A lot going on. We've got Thanksgiving this week, and my mind is already there. So I'm already trying to plan how this weekend is going to work and how this week's going to go with my job and everything else that I need to accomplish by next Friday. So I hope that everyone has a wonderful and happy Thanksgiving. And remember to give thanks not just to the God and Goddess for the things that you have, but to your family, to your friends. And remember that Thanksgiving is not always a pleasant time for those of Native American descent. So when celebrating with your family, give a little thought to the sufferment that they have gone through, and give a little thanks to their fortitude and some of the neat, very wonderful spiritual devices that they have contributed to the community. So thank you so much, and everybody have a wonderful week. Blessed be.